Welcome to our very first episode of Let's Talk About It. And I am Bernard Olayemi Michael, also known as Ben Special.
And I am Paul Keys. Sorry, Paul Yamu, also known as Paul Keys. Don't mind me.
Yeah, that's actually good.
Yeah.
So now we are here to talk about topics that are actually controversial, topics that are too sensitive, topic that people do not really want to talk about, topic that when people hear it, they they wow, they like, what is this? Does this make sense? We are not here to correct or to say some opinions are accurate or are legal or are fact. We are not here to conclude, to decide, to judge. We are just here to talk about it, to share our own opinion, to dissect, to look it at another, to look it from another angle. That is why we are here. And today's topic is going to be, who is a sinner? Who is a sinner? I've always asked myself. So, Mr. Paul, who is a sinner? Well, we're right there. Before we dive right into who is a sinner, I want you to listen to some things that I, research about sin, about who is a sinner. The religious part, the scholars part, and I have the Christians. They define sin or sin as missing the mark. Are you getting it? That is rebellion against God's law. So when you rebel against God's law, you are a sinner. Now, Islam said, it's seen as an act that goes against the commands of Allah. It is often categorized into major sins such as polytheism or murder, minor sins such as Islam are just trying to tell us that two sins are in two ways. But that's not where I'm actually going now. Now, Judaism said they view sin as what? As straying. When you stray away from something, when you stray from the path that you have been called to, or to follow rather. So that is sin to Judaism. Now, I now have two scholars here. I have Jean-Paul Sartre. He said, as an atheist philosopher, Sartre believed there is no pre-written rule book. Therefore, sin is a bad fate. To him, a sinner is someone who lies to themselves or denies their own freedom by saying, I had no choice, or I was just following orders. Now, and I have another scholar. Another scholar said, that's St. Augustine. He said, this one, I love this one. To him, a sinner is someone who loves lesser things. Money, power, lust, more than higher things. Higher things like what? Like goodness, like truth, like God. What Augustine is trying to say is that if you love your expensive car so much that you will let your friend go hungry just to buy a fancy new ring, your love is out of order. That is a sin. Now, hearing all this, Mr. Paul, who is a sinner?
All right. So if I get you clearly from the last quote you read.
Yeah, sure. From Augustino.
Yeah. If my friend is hungry and I have money, now this may be money that I have saved, right, to buy something. I may have deprived myself of food, right? I may have deprived myself of getting good food or even eating or fasting on some days. And then I want to purchase a particular product for myself because I have saved over a period of time. And then you are hungry. And if I don't give you my money that I saved, I am tagged a sinner. I totally disagree with that point. Now, basically, we see sin or in a religious aspect, right? Sin is is always around the concept of religion. And firstly, to the quote you read, there are what we call societal standards, moral and ethics, on which the society is being is as in operates, right? The society operates on these principles, all right, and on these laws. They operate on these principles, right, and they operate on these laws. And if these principles are not there, right, everybody can act the way they want to, the way they want to act. Now, when I see someone who is hungry or somebody who is dying, and I can save this person, the societal standard is that when you can help, help. Even the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself, not more than yourself, right? So if you can help, you help. If you can't help at that time, right, then I don't think you should go outside the box to make yourself uncomfortable, just to make someone else comfortable. Now, let me ask you this question. I need to save myself before saving others.
Sure.
Right? So if I choose not to save myself before saving someone else, am I being good to that person or am I being bad to myself? That's my question for you.
If you choose to save yourself rather than saving the person that is in need, right? Are you being good to yourself? Are you being good to the person or being bad to yourself? You see, the question is actually, let me just put it this way. Let me put it this way. Like you said, we have societal standard. Are you getting me? So whereby we there is a standard we follow. There is a moral standard. You know, let me call it moral standard. Whereby we all believe that you have to be kind to the elders. When you meet an elder on the way, you have to be kind to that elder, collect whatever the elder is carrying, just to in an African standard. Are you getting me?
All right, correct.
Because we have some European standard that they don't see it that way. You get what I'm saying? But in an African standard, so we can do something like that. But now, putting myself at risk just to please you, I don't see it as something worth doing. I can't do that. I can't actually put myself at risk. You see. Let me put it this way. If we are going to talk about who a sinner is, are you getting? If we are going to talk about who a sinner is, there is no need for us to start talking about the standard.
Okay.
There's no need for us to start talking about the standard, because the truth is we have standards. You know what I'm saying? We have laws. Now, these laws that we have, some people break it and they go scot-free. Some people, you know what I'm saying, break it and they don't escape it. And the reason why we are saying who is a sinner is, the reason why we are actually talking about this thing is that some people will tell you that they are not sinners. Some people will tell you that they are not sinners, that they've done nothing wrong. And some people will tell you that they are sinners because the scripture told them that they are sinners. Because humans are prone to making mistakes, so we are all sinners. Now, when someone that is heading an organization is doing fine, you that you are in that organization, you are struggling. Are you getting me? Looking from that perspective, you are doing your best not to get out of order, and this person is doing fine. Are you getting what I'm saying? Now you eventually go the other way around just to become something, and now they are not tagging you a sinner. Does that make you a sinner?
All right. Now, when I said that the word sinner is basically used in a religious concept, this is the reason why I said so. Now, when you, let me give an example, right? Drinking beer, right, is not a sin. Drinking beer, right, is not a sin.
No.
Sorry. Hold on. Drinking beer,
Okay.
is not a crime.
Oh, okay.
Let me rephrase my statement.
All
Drinking beer is not a crime. But when you drink beer in the church, inside the church, how do you see that?
It's a sin.
But in the church, is it a crime?
It's not a crime.
But outside, is it a sin?
Sorry, sin to drink outside. Oh no! I see where you are coming from. No! Don't
So
don't.
basically, let me straighten out my points.
Okay,
Now, sin only has its meaning when it's in the confines of religion.
of religion.
And that is why there are things that I can do outside, right? That will be a criminal offense in the government, right?
Now let me
And there are certain things I will do that is sin in the eyes of the church.
let me say this.
In the
Let me
eyes of God.
let me say this. Sorry for cutting you off. Let me say this. So meaning that if I'm not a religion person, so I'm not a sinner.
If you don't believe. Now, as a sinner, right, you have to go against a certain set standard of a religion before you can be tagged a sinner. You have to go against against certain rules, all right, that have been set by
That organization.
For example, let's look at what's going on. The people who randomly kidnap and kill people, right? If their religion tells them that, oh, this is what you should do, you think that in their religion they are sinning? They are not sinning, right? But to you, who believes that to murder someone is a sin, yes, they are sinning to you. But in their religion, they are promised a lot of goodies, that when they die after killing a lot of people, that they will get reward in heaven. To them, they are doing what they can do. So to them, it's not a sin. But to you, it is a sin.
But no. I don't think any religion will allow murder to go on, all because they promise a goodie, or they promise something great. Because listen to the one of the this religious settings, the Islam, it says they actually classify sins into two parts. We have the major sins and we have the minor sins. Are you getting me? So now they say the major sin is classified as murder. So which means Islam also is against murder.
I never said Islam. I never said Islam. I never said Christianity. I said a set of people.
No. I know. Yeah.
A set
you
of
never
people.
mentioned.
And those people might not be.
You never
Islam.
mentioned any Islam. You never mentioned Christian. You never mentioned any religious sect. Are you getting me? But now, what I'm trying to say is that we have almost every religion is against murder. Every religion settings, they are against murder. If you go to even where they only meditate. There are some religious settings whereby they only go there to meditate. I've seen that kind of settings whereby people just go there, they enter, are you getting me? And they keep quiet just to meditate. Are you getting me? So I believe almost all religious settings, they are against what? Murder. But if some religious settings, you know what I'm saying, or some people from part of these settings decide in their mind, you know what I mean? Because you know what? Let's move forward. Because this is a controversial topic. You know what I'm saying? You can actually start saying all these things without mentioning some certain things. And that's what I want you to understand. Because
I don't believe in God. Yes, I don't believe in God. This word this sentence coming from an atheist, as he sinned, if he doesn't believe in the concept of God. As he sinned, if he doesn't believe that there is a God.
Mr. Paul, I believe okay. So as an atheist, I believe he hasn't sinned. He hasn't done anything wrong.
Why?
Because I don't believe in God. Okay, he hasn't sinned. But let me say this. He has not sinned. You know what I mean? But to be not to be like, oh, maybe or let me just say this. Now, if he, you know what I'm saying? If the atheist now decides to now blaspheme against my own belief, he has sinned.
Against who?
My belief.
Against who?
My belief.
Okay, he has blasphemed against your belief.
Yes, if he blasphemed against my own belief, it's a sin.
Based on what? On what account are you judging him a sinner for?
I'm judging on the account that he is speaking against my own belief.
Can I sin against you?
You can't sin against me.
Why can I sin against you?
You can't sin against me because
can't.
you can't sin against me.
So who can I sin against?
You sin against God.
Good. Then who, as the atheist, sinned against if he doesn't believe in God? You can't offend someone you don't know. You can't offend someone you don't believe in. You can't offend someone you think does not exist.
So who is not a sinner then?
Maybe they should write the answers in the comments.
All right, okay. Now, let's. I have some questions for you here, Mr. Paul, and both of us are going to talk about these questions together. Now, is a sin a choice, or is it just human nature? Let's just discuss this few minutes.
It's a sin, a choice.
A choice.
All right, so I'll categorically state that sin is in the nature of man.
It's the nature of man.
Yeah.
So, which means I am a sinner, even though I've not committed any sin.
Let me give you an instance. Do you know that everybody, right? They have the capacity and the capability to cheat on their spouse. I mean, married people, both the male, both the female.
No, not me.
No, I mean they have the capability to do so.
Oh.
But why don't they do so? Because they choose to be disciplined. You being disciplined and not doing that doesn't take away the fact that you can if you want to. So as a sinner, yes, we are imperfect. We are all sinners, right? We all have the tendency
Oh, that
of
word.
sinning.
You said we are imperfect.
Yes, and we are sinners because of your imperfection.
But some set of religion believe that we are perfectly made.
Perfectly made bodily.
Bodily?
Yes. But the intents of your heart cannot be
all right.
totally perfect.
Thank you for that, because I was going to say that sin is actually a choice. I was going to say sin is actually a choice, because if you don't believe in my own God, the God that I serve, you know what I'm saying? So you have the choice to keep quiet. You have the choice not to blaspheme. You have the choice to just let me be. You have the choice to let me serve my God. You have the choice to let me do what I believe is right.
An atheist is allowing you serve your God. An atheist is not asking you not to serve your God. But when a conversation comes where he's allowed to speak as to why he doesn't believe, he will defend his own belief. That's what an atheist does. There are not people who go around killing people or asking you people to come and join their own religion. No. An atheist would always give you facts based on why he doesn't believe that there's a supernatural being. Atheists, they don't walk by faith as Christians do. They walk by things that they see.
Oh yeah, okay. Now, okay. At this point now, does a bad habit become a sin? Because now let's move past this atheist of a thing or the religion. Now let's look at people in general. You know something? Because we're looking at who is a sinner. I've always heard people saying, he sinned because he blasphemed against my God. He has sinned because, and some people go to the mile of what? Go to the extent of what? Of, doing this jungle justice. Or because someone says something against their belief. Are you getting me? Now, let's leave the religious part. Are you getting me? Because if we dwell on that, we are just going to be here for months. Let's look at people general. Because I need to understand who a sinner is. Are you getting? Now, if I'm going to understand who a sinner is, I need to know, am I a sinner based on what I do? Or I'm a sinner because someone said I am a sinner? Now, does bad habit, you understand me? Does bad habit become a sin?
Can you give an example of bad habit?
Okay. Now, for example, we have bad habits, like, in an official sentence, whereby people are prepared for dinner. You just have the habit of polluting the air with your anus. You don't have the habit of doing that all the time. Are you getting me? So all of a sudden, because your friends are there and it's a corporate settings, all of a sudden you did the same thing. It becomes an habit. So that kind of habit, you know what I'm saying? Some people call smoking bad habits. You know what I'm saying? When you smoke, it becomes a bad habit to you, that something like that. Some people call talking too much as bad habits. Are you getting me? Some people even call maybe, I don't know. We have so many bad habits. So those bad habits become a sin.
So in any of these habits you mentioned, is a lot offended in any? The God that you claim you worship, or the God that the Christians or Islam worship, do you think you must have offended? Okay, that you talk too much. Have you offended a higher being? You pollute the air where people are having official meetings. Is that a sin? Like, have you sinned against the holy being? Have you offended God in that setting? I'm asking you this question, please, and I want you to answer.
I believe in that settings, you actually disgraced yourself. And another thing is that you've offended those people in that settings. You've not sinned. That is why I want to understand.
So you've answered your question.
Yes, I know. That's why I want to understand who is a sinner. Because now, do you know that you've offended this person? Are you getting me? Which means bad habits cannot become a sin. Yes, that's true. But now, I need to now understand in a settings like that, whereby bad habits are okay. Let us now put. Let me use a corporate settings now. Let me now use you guys are having a religious settings. Are you getting me? The president is there. You know, the governor is there. The senator is there. All of a sudden, you polluted the air. What would happen to you?
I may be thrown out.
You may be thrown out.
I may be thrown out of that setting at the time. Yes, I may be thrown out of that setting at the time, right? But I think there are things that are too casual for God to. Okay, now are you saying as a Christian you fart in the church, you go to hell?
You can go to hello.
If you mess for church.
If you mess for sure, you can go to hello. I'm telling you the truth. You can actually go to
But
hello.
they worry, you don't know. You don't mess.
No, in the presence of the Lord, you have to be reverent. So, which means before you come there, you must make sure that you've emptied your bowl. You are okay. You must
In the
see
presence of who?
in the presence of the Lord.
Now you fart in a corporate setting.
You fought in a corporate setting.
Will you go to hell?
You can't go to hell to
That is,
them.
that is what I want you to understand. That when we talk about sin, right?
Yes.
You're asking who a sinner is. Is I will categorically give you the answer now. A sinner,
Are you
right?
giving me the answer or you're showing your opinion?
What I believe. A sinner is someone who goes against a divine rule that
divine rule
believes in.
that he believes in. So, which means we are not all sinners.
Depends on what you believe. That's what I'm saying. It depends on what you believe. That's why I asked you that question earlier.
Someone,
An atheist who doesn't believe in God, you call him a sinner.
someone that woke up, that suits himself with that put on a suicide bomber something or vest or suicide bomb vest and walk to a school. You know what I'm saying? In the name of his belief rather, or I believe. You know what I'm saying? And kaboom, went off, and children died. So he's not a sinner.
So he believes that a better place is waiting for him. That's why he has the mind to do what he did. There's a better place waiting for him, right? So to him, he's not sinning. He's not sinning, but to you, he is sinning.
No.
You can't blame people based on what they believe.
You see, let me throw this out. Now, if that is the case, oh, before I even ask you this question, what you are actually saying, it's the way you are saying it, it's like I believe in if I hurt you, the Lord will reward me. And if I don't hurt you, if I do not hurt you, the Lord will go against me. So now, or what I serve rather, the God I serve will go against me. So meaning that I am not a sinner every time I hurt you.
I need you to understand the concept of belief here. I need you to understand the concept of belief or your belief. That's what I want you to understand. Now, Samsung, right, believes, right, that if they do or if they create S27 Ultra, all right, that they have the market to sell that product, right? And then iPhone comes, right, and starts saying Samsung wants to take over the market. Why? And you are charging them to court for this. But you have your own right to do what you have to do. You don't have to believe that when I truly put my product in the market, I will sweep the whole market.
Now.
They have their own right to do what they have to do.
Now.
Right? So that person who has gone to blow up the school and has unalived a lot of people, his belief is that when he does that, there's a reward. But to you, your belief, all right, says that, okay, when you do something like this, it's not going to work for you. That's a sin. So that's the difference. People act based on their belief.
Okay. You see, like I said, viewers, this is a controversial topic. We are not here to say this is right or this is wrong. We are just here. Let us think about it. Who is actually a sinner? If this person that, this suicide bomber that just go ahead, kaboom, a place is not a sinner. Who is not a sinner? Now, I have another question for you here before we move ahead. Now, is a person who steals bread to feed a child a sinner in the same way a billionaire cheats on taxes?
No matter how we want to see it, if you're a Christian, you should
Now,
understand.
this one is not a religious sentence.
Yeah.
This one now is not a
Yes,
religious
yes.
sentence.
But
No,
I'll
we have
answer
two
your
things in
question.
this one.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
All right. Now, if you're a Christian, if you are a Christian, you cannot
Must you use
devil-
if you are a Christian? Let's use a
I
general
don't
word
know.
here.
I don't know what you worship. I don't know if you're a Christian. For goodness.
No,
Right?
let's use a general term
Now,
here.
you can't how do I say it? There are certain principles, all right, that guide every action. Now let's take a look at self-defense for an example. Now you see someone who is coming to attack you, you have a gun or a machete, you can aim at the person, right? But do you know that it will be accounted to you as a crime if the person who is coming to attack you, right, you successfully held that person, you disarmed that person, and then you go inside and bring your gun and shoot that person, you'll be charged for murder.
Okay, I think I've heard of that before.
So I steal bread, all right, and I gave it to a child to eat. Does that take away the fact that I am a thief?
Oh, I will give you an instant. There was a particular
I want you to answer my question.
Yeah,
Does that take away the
yes.
fact that I'm a thief?
I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this particular illustration to answer your question. There was a particular governor, you know what I'm saying, that gave someone prerogative of mercy because the court sentenced the person to, I think, to prison, or because the person stole chicken. Are you getting me? So which means you steal a bread, you are a sinner.
No.
You steal a bread, you are a sinner.
No, it's a criminal offense to steal.
You are a sinner also.
Where? How?
You are a sinner because
How am I a sinner?
You've gone against the settings, like you said at the beginning of
What
this
setting
session.
did I go against here?
You've gone against the settings in the sense that in the settings of religious settings, we have some settings whereby they say thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not lie, and the steal part of it, you've done it. So you've stolen something. So you've committed a sin.
Exactly. So that doesn't take away the fact that I am a thief, even if I steal the bed or the bread.
Yes, you are a thief.
Yes, and I'm not a thief. That person is a thief. No matter how one plays it, even if he gave the bread to his child or to his family, he's a thief.
He's a thief.
That's a criminal offense, and that is a sin.
Without considering the fact that she stole the bread just to feed her child. It's cruel. Why? This life is just so cruel because I do not understand why that kind of action is going to be considered a sin.
All right. So
When listen to me very clearly. That kind of action is going to be considered a sin when a suicide bomber kaboom a whole school. Their children are learning, and you are telling me that you told me here that one was not a sin, but this one is a sin.
remember when I told you about the suicide bomber? If it is his belief, right? Now, if an atheist steals a bread, he doesn't believe that it's a sin. I want you to understand the concept of belief. If an atheist steals a bread, he doesn't believe that he has sinned against any supernatural being. You, who is a religious person, sees it as a sin because in your Bible, it's been said that, oh, you have committed or you have stolen something. But to someone who doesn't believe in your scriptures, will not see it as a sin. That's what I'm saying. Before the Bible came, before the Quran came, people lived their life based on what the society has taught them, the standard, the moral ethics that the society has ruled out for these people.
Our viewers, I'm about to explode here. And if allowed, this man, God, I will kaboom him. Like I said at the beginning of this video, or this show, we are not here to say this is right or this is wrong. We are just here to dissect it. Who is a sinner indeed? If a particular action does not make you a sinner, but another action makes you a sinner, who is actually a sinner? Oh, most of us believe that a suicide bomber might be a sinner. Some people might say, no, we don't know. We are just here to ask who is actually a sinner.